apologize. Like I said, I'm traveling and I'm way up in the mountains somewhere, so I just got knocked off of somewhere. But I was kind of going into what I was talking about in reference to the topic of menopausal problems and how food can help assist for the midlife women. You know, understanding my own journey that I had with cancer. And as I went through my own journey with cancer, that's when I really began to look into the issues of women and what's going on with all of these diseases and how my body started experiencing depression and menopause, hot flashes. You know, a man can definitely not even begin to understand what hot flashes is all about. And it really feels like you're in some hot lava, and no matter how cold you put the air conditioner on or how many fans you have in front of your face, nothing seems to do it. You could be soaking in such full of ice, but the inside of your body is still burning. And that is due to a hormone imbalance. And we kind of went over that last week. Even some men, sometimes they do experience a hormone imbalance, but not in the same way that a woman does. That a woman has so many different parts of her body that are very, wonderful, uniquely made different from a woman. This is what's going to me for the next 3 or 4 weeks going into the topic talking about, menopausal issues. I'm going to pick up on talking about infertility, fibrocystic breast, different things that we need to go into, yeast infections, all these kind of things that women go into, they typically might not open up and talk to someone about. So I thought I would just bring some things out that maybe they would feel comfortable talking with myself or Dr. Truman about, or at least get some remedies and what they could be able to do with some foods and some herbs to use to kind of treat some of these symptoms that you might be experiencing. And if you have last week's recording, you can go back and listen to it. I kind of listed a lot of the side effects for women if you think you might be going through menopause or perimenopause or having, thyroid problems, all different types of things that can be linked into hormone imbalance. And so I was talking about how the food, when the Most High made the Garden of Eden and he put man in it, and then when he made woman, he had to put Adam to sleep, and we all know this story, but I still like to kind of go there and tap into it because it has a lot to do with how we're eating today, understanding nutrition, and understanding that Satan is still deceiving many people with this same tree that he told Eve that we can eat from. And as we can see today, we live in a world full of sicknesses, full of diseases, and he's doing the same line today, telling Eve the same story that this tree is good. And we can see these trees we've been eating from, they're not good. And so we need to go back to the basics, understanding that the Most High who created everything, including male and female, understands that there are specific needs when it comes to, especially for even men that are over the age of 40, but really I'm talking about women now, there are specific nutritional needs that they specifically must have once they have begun to reach the age of 40. The body begins to start declining, and when those nutritional needs are not there, or the hormone is not balanced out, the estrogen or the progesterone, then it begins to send people into this wacky stuff where you get these hot flashes, you get depression, you get mood swings, you get hunger pains, food cravings. I mean, everything's going whack all over the place. And so maybe some of you husbands or fathers or men on the line have been around some women that you've experienced that, and then they kind of make a little gesture saying, you must be PMS and you must be getting ready to start your period, something like that. So hopefully this information will help some of the men understand what's going on, because it's not that the woman just wants to be out of control like this. There truly is something going on, and this information that's coming out can really be able to help put the nutrients back into the body to bring the body back into harmony with the Most High and with the Holy Spirit, so everything can be kosher back in the house again. Even a lot of people have some disruption even in their sex life because they don't understand why they're not turned on anymore. I'm tired now because that's another symptom that comes with this menopausal problem is fatigue. People are tired all the time, so maybe some people are having problems in the bedroom, and you'll be amazed how food is playing a part in robbing you of the benevolence that should be taking place between a husband and a wife. So I hope this information today will be able to be a blessing and help many, many people and bring reconciliation and wisdom and knowledge to us all, that we may be able to have the Most High strive with us for up to 120 years. Many people are dying way before their time. And women, again, having menopausal issues plays a problem into cardiovascular disease, heart attacks. And so women, especially what they're calling African American women, are some of the number one people that are dying from these heart attacks, which goes back to all kinds of problems that can be directly linked into these menopausal problems. So just kind of understanding how the body works and understanding what you can do with your food and your herbs to put those things back into place. And then everything, like I said, can return back to kosher. So for many women, menopause or the change of it, as it is sometimes called, is a time of great, I don't even know the word I'm looking for, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's not a good time. I'm trying to look for it. Somebody might not know what that word means, I'm saying, but it's just not a good time. It's thinking about monthly periods, concerns about pregnancy or the anxiety of starting a career. You know, all these kind of things can be going on during that point in life. So it's natural to feel a certain sense of freedom, you know, so the rest of your life is truly not your own. So a lot of times women feel like the environment may be falling out from underneath them. They don't understand the midlife crisis that they call it, or the midlife changes that they're going through. So there is more creative force in the world than the menopausal women that really understand when it comes to putting the food back into the diet. So still the body, it does undergo a number of physical changes. The menopause that can take the zest from the best. Like I said, hot flashes, mood swings, insomnia, are just the name of few of the symptoms many women experience around this time. So for years, women and their doctors, they kind of assumed that the discomfort of the menopause was inevitable part of the process. You know, doctors really never really just looked into it. They just kind of thought, well, you're just getting old. This is just a part of life, not really understanding that, no, it's not just a part of life. This is not normal, because when you read about women in the Bible, these women were spared to be looked upon. They were in their 100 and 200 years old. They could still have babies. They could still do a lot of things that people in their 30s and 40s can't even do anymore today. So that's just not known. But now today, with more research and research, doctors are even beginning to realize that, no, there is more to this than just thinking that this is an inevitable part of the process of what we call womanhood, you know. So understanding hormonal shift. As a woman approaches menopause, her ovaries, they begin producing less of the female hormones, the estrogen and the progesterone. So at some point, they begin producing so little of these hormones that menstrual periods, they stop. The physical problems, such as the hot flashes and the mood swings, they begin. Like I say, when they kick in, they come and go, and they come and go, and they come and go. And it's just like it's nothing you can do. Usually it's like you just want to take all your clothes off and start running down the street. And people will say, man, she's crazy. She must have bipolar. Something is wrong with her. They're even telling women that today, to have them, you know, put on prescription medications to make them think they're crazy. And it's not crazy. There is a hormone imbalance that is truly going on inside of this woman's body. There are missing nutrients, enzymes, alkaloids, all kinds of things that need minerals, vitamins, things that need to go back into place to bring all of this back into balance. So even more serious are some of the long-term changes in the body caused by the low hormone levels. So estrogen, again, for example, it regulates the woman's cholesterol levels, and when the estrogen dips, the cholesterol level, it rises, which is why women have a higher risk of, again, like I was saying earlier, about heart disease after they have passed menopause. So estrogen also plays a role in keeping a woman's bones full of calcium. And so we definitely need that, because now we get into a topic talking about osteoporosis. And you see that very commonly now among women. You know, they're walking, they kind of look like the limp back, things like that. Something got depleted way, and they really didn't recognize it or get a hold on it, or some doctor just, you know, kind of told them this is part of the inevitable process, and it was not. And so that calcium was stolen from, so therefore their bones didn't get a chance to grow strong like what they should have. So when, like I said again, when the estrogen levels drop, the bones, they lose calcium at a very fast rate. So unless women take extra care to get extra calcium in their diet, their bones have become thin and weak, and like I said, it can form into a condition called osteoporosis that I think most of us have heard of. Talking about protecting the heart. Since many of the problems in menopause are caused by low levels of estrogen, it makes sense that replacing some of the estrogen will make women healthier. And last week I talked about a cream called a hormone body balance cream that you can get that is plant-based, phytoestrogen. The word phyto means plant-based, so it's made from an estrogen to be able to function the same way your natural estrogen, because a woman's body will create it naturally on its own. But again, as a woman begins to age and get older, it begins to lose some of the estrogen that it was naturally producing on its own. And so now it kind of like needs to be manipulated to put that back so it can come back into harmony and balance. Scientists, they have found that a number of foods, most notably, they say soy foods such as sufa and fifa contain large amount of phytoestrogen. Like I said again, plant compounds that act very much like the natural hormone. This is particularly important for protecting the heart, since the women's risk for heart disease rises after menopause. Research has shown, however, that eating more soft foods can help break down cholesterol levels and the risk for heart disease. So that was done in a study at the University of Kentucky in Lexington. People eating just under 2 ounces of the food for a day were able to reduce total cholesterol by over 99% and harmful low weekly cholesterol by nearly 13%. So when you're talking about, I'm not a big fan, that's a whole other conversation. Maybe Dr. Truman is going there. I want to be able to bring the research out of it, but so many people have heard so much going on in the start. So we need to have a real understanding what part of it is good, what part of it is not. So they put a lot of stuff out there. So you have to just really get into the research and have the wisdom from the both sides to understand what parts you don't need to deal with and what parts is good to provide health benefits. Turning down the heat. Hot flashes are perhaps the best known sign of menopause. They can really come out of nowhere and leave women feeling flushed and uncomfortable. Here again, the phytoestrogen, they can also help. And so I was looking at something in Asian countries where women ate a lot of soy food. Only about 16% had a problem with the menopausal discomfort. In fact, there was a fun in Japan. I'm going to make sure that underline because I'm kind of moving that. Japan was for hot flashes. So in this country, however, where soy foods are kind of used less often, 75% of menopausal women complain of hot flashes or other uncomfortable symptoms. Wow. So it's not only soybeans that can help relieve hot flashes, but black beans, which you can cook, into great tasting foods or sprinkle into salads. They contain about the same amount of phytoestrogen as the soybean. So people that kind of want to stick away from the soy, that's another alternative they can use. I love black beans. The brown flaxseed, which can be baked into bread and muffins, is also a good source. So those are just some of the things that you can use if you want to use, like I said, a cream. But as we're talking about eating food, because the food is something, the cream is not a food. It's just something you apply on the skin, the transdermal, so you apply it topically on the skin. And I'll go over some of the benefits of what it has and how it ties into the HPV and talking about taking charge of your bones. One of the crucial issues facing women is keeping their bones strong. Again, talking about menopause and the depletion of the calcium that is filled from. So getting enough calcium before and during and after menopause is definitely one of the most important things a woman can do to prevent possible disaster with bone structure and bone fracture. People, a lot of times we hear people when they get older, they end up falling and breaking their hips. It's harder for they end up having to have a hip replacement, things like that. So all of that is tied into the bones and the joints. But primarily we're talking about the bones because the calcium has been stolen away from the women that they need. So holding on to calcium is important because many women, they don't get enough. In other words, the average women ages 20 to 50, they get about 600 milligrams a day. And women past menopause get only about 500 milligrams a day. So some scientists at the National Institute of Health, they recommended that women in their childbearing years get at least about 1,000 milligrams of calcium a day, and with the test, plus the aid.
And it looks like Sister Kashaki is breaking up there and losing connection. She's on a mountaintop somewhere, and with a poor reception, I believe. So that's what's happening there. If you, I'm not hearing her very well. So she was doing pretty good there, and I was hearing everything until just. Are you there? Hello.
Okay, Dr. Truman, I got dropped, but I'm back. Can you
Oh,
hear me?
yes, we can hear you. Go ahead. Oh, you're still. You're kind of intermittent.
Hello?
Yes, you're kind of coming in and coming out a little bit there.
Sorry, I got dropped off.
Yes, I know.
Everyone else still here?
Sister Herbie. It's Sister Herbie. I'm on the line.
Okay, how you doing?
All right, how you doing? What happened?
I'm doing. I think I got dropped off. So I don't know if everybody dropped because I don't know where everybody else is with. So I don't even hear Dr. Truman.
Hello, I'm on the line. I'm on the line.
And Truman's on the line too.
So I'm hearing some
Okay.
for that. I'm traveling and I'm up in mountains. And so as we get there, drop zone was just kind of cut off and was beyond my control. Dr. Truman, are you still here?
I'm still here. I'm with you there. Can you hear me? Hello.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to keep kind of talking. I'm pretty much at the end of that's why I'm kind of shortening it down. I had a lot more to bring out, but because I knew I was traveling and I'm going in between the fields in Virginia, then I knew I was not going to be able to, stay connected as long as I need to. So, again, I'm sorry about that, but I hope everyone was able to pick up everything I was saying earlier. So I'll just kind of go ahead and finish about 2 more minutes to finish up what I was saying, talking about taking charge of your bones, which is some other things that happens with the women that experience the menopausal problems and things of that nature, and how certain foods, and so the food plant that I talk about every week is called Tahitian Noni. Most people remember our product called Tahitian Noni Juice, and we have a sister product called MAC, which is a sister product, and this is a food plant that operates as a medicine. It's different from an apple or an orange or pomegranate or something like that. You have regular food plants and you have food medicinal plants. And so this noni plant that I'm talking about is a food medicinal plant. And so it's very important to understand that I'm talking about the original noni. I've heard some people call me and sometimes they'll say I've seen noni in Walmart or somewhere in Kmart, and I have to explain to them that's not the same noni. It doesn't have the same active ingredients. It does not have the same scientific validation or the same backing. And if you read the bottle, it's definitely going to tell you that it has some type of side effect. The noni that I'm talking about is scientifically validated as having 0 side effects. And so it's very important to make sure you understand that there are different brands of noni. And when our company, Melinda, begin to start marketing noni all throughout the earth, then other companies begin to come on board and become copycats. And so they have on the market now what's called phony noni. Maybe they might say Hawaiian noni, Jamaican noni, sunshine noni. So people just hear the word noni and they think all noni is the same, and it is not. They do not have the same active ingredients in it. And one of the main ingredients that is found in this noni is a bioactive compound called iridol, spelled I-D-O-I-D-S, iridol, which has many therapeutic, adaptogenic benefits to the human body. This plant has been used since about 400 BC by the people they're calling French Polynesians, but they're part of the lost tribe of Naphtali from the 12 tribes of Israel. It comes from the South Pacific region of the earth, and over there, the food grows different than it grows here in the United States or in the Western Hemisphere part of the world. There's sunshine, the rain, the volcano ash, all the way down to the soil because of the eruption that takes place over there. So it gets everything that it needs to grow in its entirety and its pureness. So alive. And when you look at the Volume of the Bible Dictionary, remember I was saying earlier that food is a nutritive material. So food is also supposed to help the process of having energy. And a lot of times people say fatigue, which is tied into these menopause problems. We as women, we just stay tired. A lot of times we think it's because we got a job and we have the kids. Not saying that those things don't play a role, but a lot of times it's just because we don't have the right nutrients into our body to assist us on a day-to-day when I daily task, such as being a mother, being a wife, or maybe you're school teacher or whatever your job description is. You need nutrients to take you out through the day, and specific nutrients when you begin to age and become a certain age. And so this knowledge is scientifically validated with called the medical PER, which is in the nutraceuticism. And so since we have been in operation as a company, our company, Melinda, has discovered something called ACE, which is what I talk about every week, which is an acronym, meaning Advanced Glycation End Product. And what is that? That has to do with your internal age in the inside, not your chronological age. So normally when I'm out, I always just strike a conversation with people, when I get going, asking them, what is your true age? And they think I'm talking about chronological. So when I begin to explain about AGE, they're just blown away because they've never even heard of these AGEs. They don't even know they exist, and they don't know the dangers of them being inside our body. So going back to what they are sugar and protein molecules that bind from the foods and beverages that we're eating. And so when there's too much excessive sugar and too much excessive protein, then when they come together, they begin to destroy everything that is in the past. So they latch on to the organs, and they're linked on to pretty much every health disease. Doesn't matter if you're diabetes, cancer patient, heart disease, fibromyalgia, whatever it is, ACEs are attaching themselves to every health element known to man. And so knowing is clinically proven to reduce ACEs in a given 4 weeks by 24%. So what they're saying is that it can slow down the aging process where people are not aging as fast. People that are also dealing with a lot of menopause problems, they begin to start aging really, really fast. Where you would begin to get their age, they're not even nowhere near the age, or they're older than that age. And that's because they have these AGEs with other things inside of their body. So I always tell people it's all about living younger, longer. And that's what the goal should be, to be able to cook food that can balance the body out back into harmony. So you're not always fatigued, you're not always tired, you're able to carry out your day-to-day tasks. You're able to still feel, optimal level of health. You're able to feel very vibrant and have good high level of vitality as a woman. Because as a woman, we all know, the women on this line, there's a lot that belongs to a woman. It just really is. Even though men, they have a whole other issue what they go through. So women, we go through childbirthing, we go through menstruating, we go through a lot of stuff that a man just can't even begin to fathom. That's why the Most High said the woman is the weaker vessel. And so we truly are the weaker vessel. So it's very important, especially in these end times, to make sure we're getting all the knowledge we can to really understand what we're putting on our kitchen table, what we're putting inside of our refrigerators, and all the nutrients in it. Are they alive? Or am I just, spending money somewhere for my riches? And understanding how the cells in the body works, because one of the other health benefits to knowing is that it regenerates cells in the body. And so pretty much the cells, due to these hot flashes, mood swings, they die off like a battery in a car. So they need to be rejuvenated, they need to be recharged up, so we regenerate new red blood cells and regenerate new white blood cells, and now they're all mingling together. You feel like a whole new woman all over again. That spark begins to come back to life. We have energy to go and do a lot of things that you typically was not doing because the body just did not have the willpower. It takes something to say willpower, but it takes more than just willpower. You have to feed your body the nutrients that it needs so it can be able to give you the charge in life that you need to keep up with everything going on in this lifespan. So the HPE, like I said, has been clinically proven to be reduced by using the DIH or our sister product called MAC. And the difference between them is the milligrams of what's called iridoid that come inside of the noni. And so you can Google that word to learn more talk about iridoids and how iridoids are only found in certain food plants, so they're not inside Walmart or farmers markets or Whole Food markets, things like that. These iridoids are only found inside of certain food plants, and so they are found inside of noni, and along with our blueberries, and along with the Colombian cherry, the olive leaf extract, and the cranberry. And so each one of these berries that I just listed make up our blend called the 2A Max, which is 120 milligrams of all of these different berries combined in one blend. So starting from the original noni all the way up to our Max, all the way up to the 2A Max concentrate, which is 360 milligrams of iridoids. And so depending on what I'm doing a consultation for, that is what I recommend to a person, once I know what it is that they're using. They use this product as a preventative, or are they planning to use it as a treatment for something else that maybe they're already using with it? So use that as a case-by-case basis to get information on that and kind of know which one that I need to recommend out to them. And sometimes I do recommend that they need to get the hormone body balance change because they need to balance that out. Maybe they're already drinking the juice, but maybe they're not drinking enough of it. So everybody's body is different. The chemistry in your body is different. So there's no one individual on the planet that has the same DNA or their chemistry is made the same. So it truly is a case-by-case basis. And so we have what's called a true age scanner, which is where we can now scan people and let them know what their true age is in 20 seconds. And so it's called a true age scanner. You can visit the website www.crU.com, and there you can see a picture, or Dr. Truman can actually have a picture up on the site on this report here that's being done to see what it looks like. And like I said, you just simply lay your arm if you ever have your blood pressure tested in kind of a Walgreens or somewhere where at the pharmacy department there's 2H machine, just something that's portable that you carry around with you, that you just simply place your arm on it, and the LED, especially the light on the inside of it, is reading from your skin. They can tell from your skin how much HCG is inside of your skin to kind of match up your numbers, to 2H. And so just like you know what your high blood pressure levels are, what your cholesterol levels are, what your body mass index levels are, you need to know what your HCG levels are. Now, there are other ways to have it done. You want to have it done through your doctor, which is through doing expensive or blood testing. Most people don't like being poked with a lot of needles, or they don't want to have to wait on the samples to come back and all that kind of stuff. So they like the fact that they can just have it done in 20 seconds. And so if anyone is interested in having that done, they can either contact me at 469-443-2124, or you can email me at shaw00023@gmail.com, and we can be able to get you scheduled and set up somewhere in your local area. I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so if you don't live in that area, don't worry about it. You can track someone down at an area nearby you to have it done. I'm going to be traveling around this year in different locations, and I'm in different locations. I will be putting it out there, so if I happen to be in a city near you, you can come out and get educated more about HCG and learn with other people, and also get your 2H testing done for free so you can learn what your HCG levels are. So that is pretty much all I have today to share. Like I said, we kind of quick talking kind of fast because I'm going through a zone where things are dropping out, so I don't want to take a chance that something else drops out. So if anyone is needing any further information, Dr. Truman, are you still here to give out the website information?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, okay, good.
Okay.
And they can, if they're interested in purchasing the Tahitian Noni or our 2H Max or the hormone body balance cream, is what that's called, which is a plant-based estrogen. So if you think you're having some issues in that area, you can also get that there. So that's pretty much all I have today to cover on the topic. So I look forward to next week's topic, so give you the honor and giving out this information where they can receive this product from. And thank you again. I look forward to next week's call. So all praise to the Most High.
All praises to the Most High. Sister Kashaki, again, thank you very much for Even though you're on top of a mountain somewhere, here you are sharing information and encouraging people to better health. And I just want to commend you for your diligence and that you just hang in there and you're doing a great job and you're helping a lot of people. And all praises to the Most High, sister. That telephone number to reach, that telephone number to call for any product that we're talking about here on this broadcast, call them up. That's 541-791-8400. 541-791-8400, and you can get anything that we're talking about here. That's BetterHealthHerbs.com. BetterHealthHerbs.com in Albany, Oregon. They call themselves Health and Herbs, and their website is BetterHealthHerbs.com. 541-791-8400. Give them a call.